Mayor Marianne Meed Ward, thank you so much for being here today. I know that you have just made the decision to raise the level to a state of emergency in Burlington. Can you explain that for us?
For sure. So that decision is one that only the mayor can make. However, I did have the full support of City Council, also full support of our emergency control group that's been meeting daily since COVID-19 came to Burlington and came to Halton even before that. Full support of our hospital and senior staff, as well as many, many residents. And really the reason for the state of emergency is to send a very strong and clear message to residents and businesses that we all need to stay home. The next couple of days, we heard from our Christine Elliott, the Minister of Health, and other health professionals that with everybody returning from March break, it's a critical time. And the next few days are a critical time that will show whether we've been able to plank the curve, stop the spread of COVID-19. And of course, in the last 48 hours, we have had the very tragic death of a resident in Milton from unknown origin. We don't know how the individual contracted COVID. So that's evidence or a sign that it's being spread in the community. So it just put a heightened level of urgency and emergency to send that message to the community. And so that's why I chose, with the support of the community broadly, to declare a state of emergency.
And I noticed in the letter that you wrote to residents that you did mention with those people returning from March break that they might not have food at home, but they cannot go out and get that food themselves. What did you recommend?
You know, if they have a family nearby or a friend or a neighbor, somebody in the community who has not been traveling, we would recommend that they use that. There are community support groups that have popped up already in the city. There's a Facebook group, Caremongering Burlington, that is set up, and they have volunteers standing by. So we have the supports in place available if people don't have local supports to help them get that. We don't want people out in the community if they've returned from travel. They for sure need to self-isolate in their homes for the next 14 days to make sure that they're clear of symptoms.
And I just want to ask, with the state of emergency being declared, before that we went through levels 1, 2, and 3. So what is it that the state of emergency does above and beyond a level 3?
Well, it's the highest level of emergency that we can get to, and it does a number of things for us. But the primary objective for us in declaring was to send that strong message that anything that is non-essential, we are in a state of emergency. To flatten the curve. And, you know, folks may be wanting me to shut down businesses. I can't. That is the province. We have no authority to legislate, but that is where the state of emergency is really helpful to send the message that we are strongly encouraging any non-essential business to close their doors. There are supports and help available from the federal and provincial government for businesses who find themselves in that circumstance. Burlington Chamber of Commerce has set up a whole dedicated page with all of those resources. So, and we've given a tax holiday. We've talked about that for at least till the end of May. So we're trying to do our part, but we really need businesses and the community to do their part. I know there are a lot of residents who have already voluntarily been adhering to stay at home. Many businesses have voluntarily shut their doors, even though when the province declared a state of emergency, it was limited to a set number of businesses. I'm hoping that they'll expand that, and I'm hoping if more municipalities declare a state of emergency, that the province will add to the list of who needs to close, because they're the only ones that can do this.
And the city of Burlington and yourself as well have been very active in putting a ton of information out in the community. Do you want to tell viewers where they can find that information if they haven't already?
Certainly. So City of Burlington has a dedicated page. It's burlington.ca/coronavirus. I have a dedicated page also on my webpage, mariannemeedward.ca, and you'll see the banner right there to click on. We have put every statement or press release from the city or my office there as well. Similarly, at both the province of Ontario as well as region of Halton, they have dedicated coronavirus pages. So if you Google that, you will be able to pull up all those resources. But they're at the bottom of all of our press releases. So if you go into the statement, that full list The hospital is there. The Chamber Link is there. As many of our local community resources that we have discovered is there. And we did a whole separate press release yesterday on what community resources and supports are available. So there's a lot out there. If anyone has a question, I would direct them to go to those resources first. It's probably answered there.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. And I know with things continuing to evolve so rapidly that we'll see you again soon.
Thanks very much for spreading the news to the community. I appreciate it.